some vaccines did arrive in Kindersley, and it's my understanding that a lot of the medical staff got vaccinated, and I tried to verify whether the Heritage Manor had or not, but I couldn't get a hold of anybody at the office today after a couple of calls, but I think that was the third-hand information that I heard, which is a good thing. I think that hopefully after the skip last week that we might be on to some regular deliveries now, and hopefully we can start working down. I listened to Premier Moe today on our municipalities of Saskatchewan, and he was kind of stating that stage 1, I think, goes down, starts out with your healthcare workers and your seniors' homes and works your way down to 70-year-olds, I believe is what he said was their stage 1. And then they move into stage 2, which will be younger than that. So it was encouraging that he felt that we were going to be moving on with some steady vaccinating anyways. Moving on to the council, agenda item 1.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley, having established quorum, resolves to call the February 8th, 2021 regular meeting of council to order at 5:04 p.m. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please, Dean? Chris, all in favor? Carried, thank you. I don't know whether anybody saw anything they want to move from the consent agenda to the regular one. Looking through it, there were only 3 items on it. The RCMP stats, the Cell 1B for Worley announcement, and the Chamber of Commerce January and February meeting and minutes. Given that, 2.2, that the Council of Town of Kindersley resolves to adopt the agenda for the February 8th, 2021 regular meeting of council as presented, and that a copy of this agenda be attached to and form part of the minutes of this meeting. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please? Rob Warren. All in favor? Does anyone see anything on the regular agenda they want to declare a conflict of interest on? We took a quick look this afternoon and couldn't see anything that was too controversial there. We'll move on to agenda item 4.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves, whereas the time being 5:05 p.m., that the regular meeting of council be adjourned to a confidential in-camera meeting. We need to move around a seconder, please, Gary. Dean. All in favor? Thank you. The confidential in-camera meeting is concluded and the regular meeting of council is resumed. And I need a mover and a seconder, please. Chris, Jean? All in favor? Gary, oops. Okay. Agenda item 6.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve as presented the minutes from the January 25th, 2021 regular meeting of council, and that these minutes be attached to and form part of the minutes of this meeting. A mover and a seconder, please. Warren, second. Gary, all in favor? Gary, thank you. Agenda item 7.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley approves the application DU number 2101 for a discretionary use at the residence of 36 K Crescent on the condition that it complies with the development standards of discretionary use pursuant to section 4 sub 11 sub 3 1 to 9 of zoning bylaw 0414. On the condition that the applicant obtains a business license from the town prior to operation and every year of operation, that if any of the conditions outlined above are not met for this proposed discretionary use, then the permit may not be approved and or may be revoked. Deputy Administrator Kim, could you speak to this, please?
Sure. So we received an application for discretionary use. It's for a massage therapy business located at 36K Crescent. We did the normal notice to the 75-meter radius around this property. We didn't receive any feedback, either negative or positive, regarding this application. Everything else within the application does meet our zoning requirements, and at this time we don't see any reason why we wouldn't proceed with the application.
Any comments, Council? Seeing none, could I have a mover and a seconder for the motion? Mr. Galbraith, second. Councillor Anderson. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Agenda item 8.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to accept as submitted the list of accounts as paid by the Town of Kindersley in the amount of $135,021.14, and that a copy of said accounts be attached to and form a part of the minutes of this meeting. Was there a typo there, Audrey?
I wanted to. Never know. It was only one page. I was like, what the heck?
Did any comments?
I did not, and if you did, and I missed it, I apologize.
I think that's the cheapest list I've seen for a few years. Could I have a mover and a seconder to pay those accounts? Councillor Becker, second. Councillor Schaefer, all in favor? Carried. Okay, agenda item 9.1, that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves to approve the consent agenda, which included the following items for acceptance and filing. RCMP stats for January, Minister of the Environment. This is to do with our Worley project west. It was just the approval from the Minister. And the Chamber of Commerce board meetings for January 7th and February the 4th. Could I have a mover and a seconder to approve those? You, Dean, second, Rob. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Any other business that council wishes to bring up at this time? Councillor Becker, I believe you had something you would like to...
Yeah, I do. It happened about 2 weeks ago. The city of Regina councillor wanted to ban oil and gas energy advertising in their city, and I know he did get a lot of pushback, which was nice to see, and council overwhelmingly voted it down in Regina. But I sort of wanted to enlighten him a little bit about even what the industry gives to jobs in Regina directly through the industry, because just we as an industry pay for the regulation ourselves. Like the body that governs our industry, we pay for it. Like I get a bill every year and it's all proportional to how much oil you produce. We pay 90% of the governing body's bill, which last year was 22 million. So yeah, I'm just going to read a bit the letter I'm going to send to Regina, and then the small towns like Estevan, Weyburn, Swift Current that all produce that. As a small producer myself, I find Mr. LeBlanc's comments misguided and quite shocking considering the province he lives in. Looking at royalty revenues alone for 2019-2020 year, the industry gave close to $500 million in royalties. No other industry generates more for government, even in a down year for oil prices. I would also like to enlighten Mr. LeBlanc a little on the direct revenue employment we as producers give directly to the city of Regina. The oil industry funds the government branch which regulates it. Early in the early 2010s, industry and government made this deal. It was between CAP and the government of Saskatchewan, they came to terms. Industry pays 90% of the cost of this department, currently around 22 million. Most of these workers, 70%, work in the greater Regina area, with just small satellite offices working in the towns where the revenue is created. And I'm quite sure these positions could be moved to the rural areas, being Estevan, Weyburn, Swift Current, Kindersley, Lloydminster. We are paying the bills for them and would, this is where the activity is. Speaking for Kindersley, we as a town would love to have a cut of these jobs. I know like in our town, we got down at the B-Love building? Well Beloved building, there's a branch there where like Brian there's probably, I think 5 to 10 based out of there, but in Regina, there's over 200 people based out of there, and we deal with them, so I mean, yeah. And then I just had one more comment as I penned this letter on February 8th. It's currently minus 35 outside with 30K winds, making it feel like minus 50. If you look at the stats on a winter day in January or February, at most only 4 to 5 hours of sunshine, sometimes no sunshine and no wind. Under 1% of our electricity is generated from renewables. It would be nice for people such as Mr. LeBlanc, always hypocritical and virtue signaling, would lead by example and try to live without fossil fuels. I wish you well. And then sincerely, Gary Becker, Town Council member, oil producer, and a member of SHOP, which is Sask headquartered oil producers. So everybody that is actually a company based out of Saskatchewan. We did form a group about 5 years ago because CAP, which is Canadian, wasn't really representing us the way we wanted, so it's actually working good because we talk directly to our MLAs and give them our thoughts, and they're actually listening. So, but it was just to Mr. LeBlanc because I thought those, we get enough of that from, I don't know, Ontario and Quebec. We don't need to be fighting ourselves as a province. Yeah, just my comments. And I'd like this letter sent to Regina, and we'll put Weyburn, Estevan, Lloyd, because I heard Swift Current sort of said something. At their council meeting saying that, they'll take some jobs from Regina if they don't want them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And quite frankly, we'd love to have them too, so, I think the letter is well placed, well intended, and should be sent. And
you move 20 jobs out of, where 20 jobs is 20 families, which Kindersley, we could use them.
Yeah, we'd be pretty excited to get 20 families moving in, I would say.
For sure.
Would you like that sent on town letterhead then, Councillor Becker?
If you
Do
could,
have a
or
problem
what,
with
like
that?
all four.
Yeah, you just forward it. Do you have it in a Word?
Word, I'll forward it.
Yeah, come on, okay, yeah.
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 Any other business, Council, or any comments on what Gary had there?
It's well put and needs to be said, I agree.
Anybody else?
I
Seeing,
agree. Well put and well said, but to make clean energy, you have to burn fossil fuels. Until people realize that, you have to have clean energy, you have to burn fossil fuels.
It takes a lot of mining to get copper for batteries, and I know I was cursing this morning when I got up at 5:30 and my truck was plugged in, and it wouldn't start because the batteries, how batteries, as the temperature declines, they lose their like. I was thinking, how is this going to work in the northern hemisphere if we all got to drive? It's just not there. Like,
It's not there. No real tunnels.
and they're going to spend a lot of money to find that out. Like, I mean,
That's not their money, they don't care.
yeah, it's a controversial thing, but I think we'd be far better off working with oil producers to limit their greenhouse gases and still produce what we really are good at here is producing hydrocarbons. So, if there's no further comments, I'll have a motion that the Council of the Town of Kindersley resolves that all business having been concluded, the February 8th, 2021 regular meeting of council be adjourned at 6:54 p.m. Mover and second, please. Dean, Chris. All in favor? Okay, thank you.